Welcome back to another Season 4 update video. This video will be taking a look at King. No doubt King players are very happy as this character just continues to get buffs and he only received a single, yes one, nerf. Although just like Steve, King's list of changes is rather short, so this will also probably be a short video. So with that, we'll again start by talking about minor changes. First, there was an issue with the input window for the leg cross hold, or at least they called it an issue, but don't quote me on this. From what I've heard, the window is now a couple frames bigger, so it should be easier to land. You still need to land the initial grab though, so nothing has changed there. Next, you can now cancel 1+2-1. Makes for an okay timing mix-up to try to sneak in a counter hit or a grab before they can react. I suppose time will tell how significant this change is, but it feels like just mostly a fun new addition, but nothing groundbreaking. Moving on, much like Craig, King's down back 2+4 ground grab does 5 less damage. It's the same absolute reduction as Craig's, but King's does less to begin with, so this is a bigger percentage change for him. Still, King's Oki game, including ground grabs, is really good, and this hasn't changed that. Next, Standing 4 got a range buff. This feels like something that was done to make juggles more consistent. In the neutral, anything Standing 4 can do, back 1 is probably going to do better, so I only see this as helping some juggles, but it was pretty consistent to begin with, which is why I'm calling it minor. Similarly, Running Exploder has a lower hitbox. If you've never seen this before, it had a gigantic hitbox to begin with, and you'll see it sometimes with crossover setups, but it was fairly reliable initially, so having that slightly lower hitbox, I don't expect to have a huge impact. It doesn't hit AOP or anything like that. Lastly, for what I would consider minor stuff, he received a handful of changes to a number of grabs. Like we've already talked about before with Craig and Armor King, his Giant Swing and Tombstone both have a little bit more tracking. They can still be stepped, but they'll be a bit more reliable in catching people that step the wrong way or mistime their step. His crouch grabs also got a range buff, including the down forward versions. These are pretty risky regardless, so this merely limits how badly you can mess up your read. But more significantly, and to transition to more important changes, just like Craig and Armor King, King can now buffer his Muscle Buster. Very positive change, more so for the Kings than Craig, because Giant Swing looks very similar to a 1+2 throw, so being able to do another 1+2 grab directly from recovery is pretty important. Next, back 3 now has a new extension into a leg drop. This is very similar to how Armor King has an extension from his back 4. King's is much less useful though, considering that 4-2-1 is typically going to be your go-to long range punish, and back 3 starts as a high. I know it's somewhat sad that he didn't get a true new move, just a new extension from an already existing move, but still, it's a mostly safe long range tool, and now you get more damage from it. Next, forward 2 down 1-2 now has an extra active frame. Time will tell if this will have a huge impact, but it should help it connect more. On that note, Jaguar Step 2 now leaves you closer on hit. Personally, I didn't see follow-ups whiff that much, but if any did, they should happen a lot less now. And speaking of, the last of the hitbox changes, forward 3 now has a lower hitbox. This is a core move for King, so having a larger hitbox is a pretty big deal. This is only going to make a good move even better and should help it hit even lower profiles. Similarly, full crouch down forward 2 got both a range and tracking buff. Again, this is a core King move you will use a lot for punishing, so it's hard not to be happy about a good move getting better. And lastly, a pair of changes, but I think the most important, down forward 3 and down forward 1-2 got advantage buffs on hit. Down forward 1-2 is now +5 instead of +4, and down forward 3 is now a whopping +6 instead of +2. Down forward 3 in particular is significant since that is triple what it was getting. However, King players are always looking for big plus frame situations, and getting +5 and +6 from common pokes is a big deal. With the tracking buffs on some of his grabs, no doubt King players are thrilled with these 2 buffs. And that's it. Again, it's a really short list. King was already a really strong character, so clearly Namco decided not to mess with him too much and mostly keep him where he is. Still, only one nerf and a small one, while all the other changes were positives. Can't be too mad about that. And with all the previous buffs he's received in previous seasons, he's obviously a very strong character. And with that, we're at the end of the video. Only one more Season 4 update video to go before we can start on another full guide video, so stick around for those. And don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. I also try to stream whenever I can, so the link to Twitch is down in the video description below. You will also find Twitter and Facebook links down there as well. Lastly, consideration for the Patreon is greatly appreciated. Patreon is definitely the best way to support your favorite content creators. And as always, much love to our 2 patrons, Tato and EDM. That support goes a long way. And thanks to all of you for checking out this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you very shortly for some more Season 4 updates.